The staff at Lo May, Manhattan's most exclusive restaurant, had a secret code for him, the Grim Reaper. When Elias Thorne's name appeared on the reservation list, panic spread faster than a grease fire. Grown men suddenly felt ill. Veteran waitresses disappeared into restrooms. He didn't simply complain. He ended careers. 3 managers have been fired in 2 years over offenses as small as ice clinking too loudly in his whiskey. But on a freezing Tuesday night in November, the staff ran out of excuses. There was no one left, except Sarah. Sarah Miller was 22, a nursing student on her 3rd shift at Lo May. She was new, invisible, and desperate. Everyone expected her to last 10 minutes before fleeing in tears. Instead, she would do something that silenced the entire dining room and changed every life in that building forever. At 6:45 p.m. on November 14th, the kitchen of Lo May was alive with its usual control chaos. French commands cut through the air. Knives struck cutting boards in perfect rhythm. Truffle oil and searing wagyu filled the room. Then the symphony stopped. The silence began at the host's stand and rippled backward like a cold wave. Marcus, the floor manager, known for nerves of steel and suits worth more than most cars, stared at his iPad as if it were a ticking bomb. "He's coming," Marcus whispered. Chloe, a senior waitress with 6 years under her belt, leaned in. The moment she saw the name, she recoiled. "No, absolutely not. I have a migraine. I feel it starting right now." "You served table for just fine," Marcus hissed. "That was before I knew he was coming." Chloe snapped. "Last time, he said I walked like a dragging anchor and made me dump a $3,000 bottle of wine because the cork smelled like despair." "I'm out." "Put David on it," Marcus pleaded. David, built like a truck, was already shaking his head. "My wife's calling. Emergency." "Your wife is at a yoga retreat," Marcus shouted. In the corner, polishing silverware with quiet focus, was Sarah Miller. She looked up confused. "Who's coming?" Chloe laughed bitterly. "A food critic? Honey, critics are kittens. This is Elias Thorne." Sarah frowned. The name felt familiar but distant. "Who is he?" "A real estate mogul," Marcus said grimly. "Owns half the skyline. Worth $4 billion. And he comes here not to eat, but to ruin someone's day." Marcus scanned the room, desperation in his eyes. "Whoever takes table 1 gets the best section for a month. No side work. Double holiday pay." Silence. Sarah glanced at her phone. A pharmacy text blinked back at her. Prescription ready. Total due, $480. Her bank balance, $42. She put down the cloth, smoothed her apron, took a breath. "I'll take him." The room froze. Chloe stared at her. "You've been here 5 days. You don't even know the wine list." "I need the money," Sarah said quietly. "He doesn't tip," David muttered. "Leaves a penny. Face up." Sarah swallowed, thought of her father coughing in their freezing apartment. "Just tell me what he drinks." Marcus exhaled like a man spared execution. "God help you. Table 1. Corner booth. Lights dim 20%. No music. And don't look him in the eyes too long." At exactly 7 p.m., the doors swung open. The temperature dropped. Elias Thorne didn't walk. He marched. Late 70s. Gaunt. A silver skull topped his cane. His suit was flawless, his eyes predatory. 2 bodyguards flanked the entrance. A trembling assistant followed. Sarah stood at table 1, hands clasped behind her back to stop them from shaking. Elias stopped, studied the tablecloth. "Wrinkled," he barked. "It's pristine, sir." "I said wrinkled." Marcus rushed over. "We'll change it immediately." As Sarah replaced the cloth, Elias watched her hands tremble. "Pathetic," he muttered. She straightened. "Good evening, Mr. Thorne. My name is—" "I don't care," he snapped. "Scotch. Macallan 50. Neat. 1 ice cube. If it melts, take it back." Sarah rushed the bar. Jack, the bartender, slid the glass over gently. 1 cube. Chilled glass. Good luck. She returned slowly, placed it perfectly. Elias swirled it once, then slammed it down. "Incompetent," he roared. "That ice cube is a glacier. It's ruining the integrity of the spirit." He shoved the glass toward her. Another, one that understand proportion. Across the room, the staff watched. "She's done," Chloe whispered. Sarah felt the scotch burn her skin as it spilled, but the humiliation burned worse. "I apologize, Mr. Thorne," she said evenly. "I'll fix it." She returned with a smaller cube. This time, Elias made her stand there for 3 full minutes before acknowledging her. "Still here," he sneered. He sipped, grunted. "Possible. Menu." He ordered a filet, rare, truffle oil on the side, stem-free spinach, then pointed to a microscopic water spot on her apron. "Disgusting. Change it." She did. Fighting tears in the locker room. Don't let him win. She didn't know he was watching her reflection, calculating. The kitchen treated the steak like a bomb. "If this hits 126 degrees, we're dead," Chef Henry warned. When the plate was ready, it was perfection. Sarah delivered it with surgical precision. Elias sliced into the center. 10 seconds passed. Then, Chef Henry has lost his touch. "This is medium rare." Elias snapped. "I asked for rare. I can take it back." He stood abruptly. "I've lost my appetite." As Sarah reached for the plate, Elias jerked his arm toward his water glass. The plate slipped. Time slowed. China shattered. Wagyu slid. Truffle potatoes splattered across his $3,000 shoes. "Silence. You stupid girl," Elias whispered. "You bumped me," he roared. "Get her out." Marcus dragged Sarah away as she sobbed. In the kitchen, she collapsed. "He's a monster," Chloe whispered. But something nagged at Sarah. The arm movement, the tremor, the sweat, the smell sweet like acetone. Her nursing instinct screamed. "Diabetic ketoacidosis," she whispered. "Cardiac distress. I have to go back." "You're insane," Henry protested. "He could die." She grabbed orange juice and pushed through the doors. Elias was slumped, pale, lips blue, muting nonsense. Sarah knelt beside him. "Mr. Thorne, can you hear me?" No focus. Unequal pupils. Clammy skin. She felt his pulse, erratic, fading. "Call 911, she shouted. His body arched. "Elephant chest." Then nothing. No breath. No pulse. Sarah interlocked her hands and began CPR. Ribs cracked beneath her palms. "Stay with me," she gasped. "You don't get to die after yelling at me." 2 minutes. 3. A gasp. A pulse. "He's back," she whispered. Sirens wailed. As paramedics took over, Elias grabbed her apron. "What's your name?" he rasped. "Sarah Miller." He repeated it softly as they wheeled him out. The hour after the ambulance left felt unreal, like the air itself had been drained from Lomé. Blue and red lights washed through the windows as police officers took statements. Diners whispered in stunned clusters. Plates of untouched food cooled on white linen. When the adrenaline finally faded, Sarah's hands shook so violently she could barely sign her name. Marcus paced the lobby, shredding a napkin between his fingers. "We're finished," he muttered. "You broke his ribs, Sarah. You performed CPR without a license. His lawyers are going to destroy us." "He was dead," Sarah said quietly. "I wasn't thinking about lawsuits. I was thinking about a pulse." Marcus stopped pacing. He looked old suddenly. Men like Elias Thorne don't forgive losing control. Sarah was sent home through the back exit to avoid reporters already circling the front door. The subway ride to Queens felt endless. 45 minutes of fluorescent lights, screeching rails, and anxious thoughts spiraling out of control. Sarah checked her bank account again. $42.18. She had saved a man worth $4 billion and still couldn't afford heat. When she reached her apartment, her father, Thomas, sat wrapped in blankets. "Did you get the meds?" he asked hopefully. Her heart sank. In the chaos, she'd forgotten. "The pharmacy was closed," she lied. "I'll go in the morning." He nodded, forcing a smile. "It's okay. I'll stretch the last pill. Sarah turned away so he wouldn't see her break. For 2 weeks, Sarah lived in fear. Every ringing phone sounded like a lawsuit. Every black car on her street felt like doom. Then the video surfaced. A diner had filmed everything. The fall, the CPR, Sarah screaming at Elias to live. It went viral overnight. 1.5 million views. The comments were brutal and divided. She's a hero. She assaulted him. That's Elias Thorne. She's done. The news reported he was stable at Mount Sinai after a massive heart attack. But Elias himself stayed silent. No call. No message. No thanks. The silence felt worse than his rage. For weeks later, on December 12th, Lome buzzed with holiday energy. Silver garlands lined the walls. Every table was booked. Sarah was exhausted. Her father's condition was worsening. She had sold her laptop to pay for part of the prescription and study for finals at the library. At 7 p.m., the room went cold. The same silence. The same dread. The doors opened. First came lawyers in dark suits, briefcases snapping open like weapons. Then bodyguards. Then Elias Thorne. He was thinner, paler, seated in a sleek motorized wheelchair. But his eyes, those sharp, terrifying eyes, were unchanged. Marcus nearly collapsed. "I don't need a reservation," Elias rasped. "I own this building in spirit." His gaze locked onto Sarah. "My table." Table 1 cleared instantly. "Fetch the girl," Elias said. Sarah felt her knees weaken. This is it, she thought. The lawsuit. The end. She walked to him anyway, head high. "Good evening, Mr. Thorne." "You look tired," he observed. Nursing student. Double shifts. Her breath caught. "How do you—" "I know everything," he said calmly. "Read." A lawyer slid a thick document toward her. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Not a lawsuit. A settlement. Dry cleaning reimbursement. Broken ribs waived. Consultation fee $50,000. Tuition for NYU nursing paid in full. Outstanding medical bills for Thomas Miller paid in full. Sarah dropped the papers. "I don't understand," she whispered. Elias leaned forward, voice rough but honest. "For 40 years, people touched me only to take something. You touched me to keep me alive." The room was utterly silent. "This isn't charity," he continued. "It's payment. You gave me time. The only thing I can't buy." A check slid across the table. Sarah sobbed. "Sit," Elias commanded. "My steak is getting cold." Against every rule of Lome, Sarah removed her apron and sat across from him. They ate together. She told him about her mother, about nursing, about wanting to treat people like humans, not numbers. He told her about his wife, Eleanor, a nurse, the only person who never wanted his money. "I yell," he admitted softly, "because silence reminds me I'm alone." Sarah reached for his hand. "You don't have to yell to be heard." For the first time in decades, Elias Thorne laughed. From that night on, Table 1 belonged to them. Every Tuesday, Elias softened, still critical, but kind. He quizzed Sarah for exams, helped her father with private transport, paid for textbooks without comment. 3 years later, Sarah graduated top of her class. Elias sat in the front row, cheering louder than anyone. But time, unlike money, cannot be hoarded. One rainy Tuesday, Elias didn't come. The call came instead. He had passed peacefully in his sleep. At the funeral, Titan spoke of buildings and billions. Sarah cried for the man who feared being forgotten. A week later, a package arrived. Inside, a letter. The only structure that mattered was the bridge we built at Table 1. He had created a foundation in her name, full nursing scholarships for low-income students. And in the box, the silver skull from his cane. Modified. Ruby eyes. 2 words engraved. Stand tall. Sarah looked up at the skyline Elias built and smiled. She had lives to save, and she would never walk alone again.